Jamal 1Dunceman isn't just a dancehall artist with a few catchy tunes. In the streets, his name rings louder for darker reasons. He's the feared leader of the Dunce Gang, controlling Barrett Town and Lilliput in St. James. His reputation is built on silence, loyalty, and a long list of enemies who disappeared. The Dunce Gang moves like a shadow in Montego Bay. They don't parade their work, they let their actions do the talking. Jamal runs things like a CEO, giving orders and watching them executed flawlessly. Violence is just another part of their business. Jamal's right-hand man is a street soldier named Bones. If Jamal is the brain, Bones is the blade. He's the one who makes problems disappear when words fail. Together, they've kept their grip on St. James unshaken for years. Jamal had a personal mechanic from Kingston he trusted with his high-end rides. Whenever an SUV or bike gave trouble, this was the man he called. The mechanic had access to Jamal's yard, his vehicles, and sometimes even the stash spots. In the streets, that's a dangerous level of trust. One day, Jamal and Bones had more straps than they wanted lying around. They decided to lock them inside an old fridge in the yard. The mechanic was there that day, working on a ride. He saw exactly where the straps were hidden. Temptation got the better of him. Later, while Jamal and Bones were gone, the mechanic made his move. He took 2 of the straps without a second thought. Then he slipped out of St. James and headed back to Kingston. Once in Kingston, he sold the straps to a couple of local guys. He probably thought the move was clean and gone under the radar. But fate had other plans for him. That very same day, the police carried out a raid. The cops hit the same community where the mechanic lived. They seized the straps along with other illegal weapons. That night, TVJ's 7 o'clock news showed the bust. The straps were front and center on national television. Jamal and Bones were watching. The moment they saw the straps, they knew what happened. Nobody else had the chance to move them, except the mechanic. It didn't take much to put 2 and 2 together. They didn't react with immediate anger. In the streets, patience is part of the game. They kept calm, played it cool, and didn't even confront him. All the while, they were planning his end. Weeks later, the trap was set. Jamal called the mechanic, telling him the SUV was giving trouble. He asked him to come down to St. James and fix it. The mechanic hesitated, but agreed. Before leaving Kingston, the mechanic told his girlfriend something chilling. "If anything happens to me, it's those guys," he warned. "If I go missing, if I end up dead, it's them." She probably didn't think it was the last time she'd see him. The mechanic reached St. James, tools in hand. He started working on the SUV as usual. Jamal and Bones acted normal, giving him no reason to suspect a thing. But the moment he finished, the real plan kicked in. Bones moved in quick. No arguments, no warnings, just straight action. The mechanic never made it back to Kingston. In the streets, betrayal is paid for in full. The police eventually arrested Bones in connection with the killing. They seized the SUV as part of the investigation. But without witnesses, the case had no legs. Fear kept the truth locked away. The community stayed silent. Nobody wanted to risk their life for court testimony. In Jamaica, that kind of talk can get you buried. So Bones walked free and returned to the streets. Back outside, Bones' name grew even more feared. He became a symbol of what happens when you cross the Dunce Gang. Jamal's leadership remained untouched. The gang kept moving like nothing happened. A lot of people believe Jamal is a born and raised St. James man, but that's not true. His real roots are in St. Elizabeth, and his story there is just as bloody. In St. Elizabeth, Jamal and his blood brother Blacks were top choppers. They made a fortune scamming overseas victims. Before music, scamming was their full-time hustle. Money flowed, but greed poisoned the circle. There was an issue with how the money was split. Other gang members felt cheated. The tension turned into threats, and the streets got hot. Jamal found himself on the wrong side of his own people. It wasn't safe for him anymore in St. Elizabeth. So he packed up and left. Montego Bay became his new hunting ground. There, he could rebuild and expand without looking over his shoulder. In Lilliput, he bought land. Then he built himself a house from the ground up. Money wasn't a problem. He'd been rich before music. This was just a fresh start in a new territory. From day one, he moved with precision. He linked with local hitters, building alliances in Barrett Town and other spots. Slowly, he made the Dunce Gang a force to be reckoned with. Montego Bay learned his name quickly. The music came after. It was just another way to keep his name buzzing without attracting too much police heat. But on the streets, everyone knew where the real money came from. And it wasn't streaming royalties. Jamal played both worlds perfectly. To the public, he was an entertainer. To the streets, he was a boss. And to his enemies, he was the last man they'd see. The mechanic's story was just one chapter in a bigger book. Jamal has been tied to other disappearances and street hits. But without evidence, the law couldn't touch him. Fear was his real weapon. Bones continued to enforce the rules. Every time someone thought about crossing Jamal, they remembered the mechanic. That alone kept many people in line. The Dunce Gang didn't have to shout to be heard. In Montego Bay, some love Jamal, some hate him. To some, he's a provider, giving out money and helping locals. To others, he's a predator who uses fear to control. Both might be true. The truth is, Jamal's life is built on survival. From St. Elizabeth to Montego Bay, every move he made kept him one step ahead. The Dunce Gang is just the latest chapter in his story. And in the streets, his name still carries weight.